Hello, everyone. This is Attorney Odunlami from the Odunlami Law Firm in Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. And today I have a really compelling story to tell you guys. So I don't have a topic so much, but I have to tell you about what happened yesterday. And oh my God, whew, we're still catching our breath in my office. So, for those who do not know me, my name is Attorney Odunlami. I'm an immigration attorney from the Odunlami Law Firm here in Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Our law firm serves clients in all 50 states. So, thank you guys for joining me. And as you join me, please make a comment. Let me know where you're joining from. I don't have a lot of time today, but I just wanted to stop in to talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a day of success. Um, it was a day of joyful tears, and so I want to talk about that. So, thank you for joining me, Joseph Fitness. Thank you, guys. So, this is a story about somebody who was on the brink of deportation. And when I say on the brink of deportation, I mean he was shackled, he was chained, he was standing on the line, the plane was there. And we were able, through hard work, thinking outside the box, and the grace of God, I kid you not, whew, oh my God, we were able to save him from being deported. And I want to get through this story without crying because it's so emotional. But um, the client's family came to us about a month ago, maybe, and their family member, and I don't like to get into the specifics of the case because we want to maintain client confidentiality and all that, but this is giving you the general story. So they came to us, there was an emergency, their family member had been detained and was in detention center, and the reason was because there was an outstanding order of deportation from a long time ago. And so we took over the case from the previous attorney that was working on the case, and we began working on this case. We were doing everything. We were collecting our data. We were doing everything, filing motions, because we were trying to show that this man, our client now, was a person who was deserving of, the consideration of being allowed to remain in this country. We were looking to have, we're looking for ICE to return him to his family. And we're doing so many things. My co-attorney was working hard on this case, the paralegal, the legal assistants, everybody had something to do because we knew that he could be deported anytime. That's the way deportations work. A lot of times they look to get the travel document, put their papers together, and that person is out when there's an order of deportation. And so in this case, ICE was clear that they were going to deport him. So we filed motions. ICE denied our requests. We reached out to the ICE attorney. We reached out to We reached out for congressional assistance, which we didn't even hear a word from them back, despite the fact that we call them every single day. And finally, we prepared motions, we prepared briefs, we prepared compelling arguments, fantastic compelling arguments. I got to tell you, the work that was done at this firm was extraordinary. Then we submitted, but at this time, the family had told us that, ICE had already cleared him for deportation. They had done a COVID test. And our client tells us now that basically they had shackled him. He was in chains. He was on the line. The plane had arrived and they were ready to deport him. And we were able to file our joint motion to terminate the deportation matter. And he was removed from the line. Can you believe that? Removed from the line. And he was reunited with his family. And oh my God, there was lots of tears from his family, from the attorneys here, the parallel. I mean, it was such a wonderful, um, it was such a, it was such a joyous moment because can you imagine how this man must have felt, on this line, thinking that this was it and that he was out. Can you imagine how his family felt? And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about, the deportation process. It's important to understand it. And so today he's back with his family, and I think for the first time we've never had something so close where like basically he was walking ready to be put on the plane, and we had to utilize like we had to utilize so many out of the box thinking to get this right on time. We felt like we're working against time. It's almost like when there's a habeas corpus motion filed by attorneys and they're asking in a capital case, and they're asking the governor not to intercede, and that was the way it felt. I mean, this is not the same, of course, because this was not life and death. But the thought of this man being deported, what do we tell his family? How, the burden, the responsibility of just trying to make sure that this man, who's a really good man, could stay in the country was so great. And God was with us and our client, and we pulled it through to the last minute. We didn't know until this was done. So let's talk about deportation, you guys, what you need to know. A lot of people do not know that they've been ordered deported, because people can be ordered deported in absentia, which means that you can be ordered even if you do not show up to a hearing. And a lot of times that this order, the absentia order goes in is because the person may have moved, the immigrant may have moved and didn't get notice of a hearing, which is a reason why every time you're involved with immigration, you need to update your address. It's really important for you to update your address so that when notices come, you get it. Some people are denied an affirmative immigration case, and they don't know there was a denial. Therefore, they don't know the case has been forwarded to immigration. Therefore, they don't appear for a hearing. Then they're ordered deported. And let me tell you something. If you're ordered deported in absentia, it is hard to reopen because you have to have a really good reason for not having shown up to court. So, what I'm going to tell you guys today is if you have an immigration if you have an immigration matter, whether it's affirmative, whether you're in immigration court, do yourself a favor and check frequently to make sure that you don't have any immigration court hearing. The number to call is 1-800-898-7180. Again, I'm going to repeat that number, 1-800-898-7180. So put the number in there. You have to have your A number. Your A number really will be in any immigration document you have. Put the number in there, and that will let you know what your status is. If you have an immigration court hearing, please do not miss it. Do not miss it for anything, okay? And of course, you know that you should have an attorney, and a competent attorney at that. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. A lot of people are afraid of being in deportation proceedings, but I want you to know that even if you're in deportation proceedings, you can still get your green card. You can. And there's certain people that they can get relief in immigration court that they cannot get from USCIS. So don't be afraid of the process. Just get good information, get a good lawyer. So I want to talk about people who are here present in the United States who have a deportation order and have a qualifying relative, which would be a U.S. citizen or green card holder, parent, spouse, or in certain circumstances, a child. If you are in this position, you you may be able to still get your green card. So it's important that if you're one of those, you should do a consultation and figure out what your relief is, whether you have a relief in immigration court, whether there's something you can do. The thing is, people, there's a lot of wrong information out there, and people suffer for not having the right information. So I just want you guys to know that if you have been ordered deported, doesn't matter how long. The thing about when you've been ordered deported is that ICE can pick you up and deport you in a very short period of time because there's already an order of deportation. It's not the same as when you're in deportation, when you're given an NTA, notice to appear in immigration court, which takes a little, takes a little while for the process to go through. So if you've gone through this process and there's an order of deportation, it really means that you can be ordered deported really quickly. So if you are in this position, don't wing it. Don't hope that you can hide, because even a traffic stop can get you in detention and ultimately get you deported. So my message for all of you today is, if you're in immigration court, you've been ordered deported, and you're looking to see if you have any relief, feel free to call my office, 973-993-1900. So let me see if I can answer a few questions, because I have to leave shortly. But yesterday was just a day of joy, and I was also in immigration court. We won at USCIS, we won two difficult cases, which, my clients got their green cards. So I'll talk about those on another Facebook Live. But even as we speak, we're still reveling at the miracle of just somebody who was minutes from being deported. Minutes, I tell you. And the sad thing about this process is, being shackled and chained is just so horrible, and I've been thinking about what my client must have been going through, all this time he was in detention, thinking to himself he was going to not be with his wife, he was going to, not get an opportunity to be with his children, his family, because he's been in the United States for a long time, and having to go back to a country that he's not familiar with anymore, and having to live in chains every day, because they really are, in chains, shackled. They're in detention and waiting on the Hail Mary, hoping that the attorney can get through, get them the relief, because of course it's discretionary, which is the reason why you have to hire an attorney who will work really, really hard for you, because, oh my goodness, it's a lot of work. But at this firm, our passion is to help our clients, immigration clients. This is a law firm of immigrants. We're all immigrants, or our parents are immigrants. We have younger people working here, and they have, their parents are immigrants, so they get it. We get it. We know what you're going through. We've been through that, and it is really important for us to make sure that you're able to stay in this country without fear of leaving your loved ones. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions, and then I will be back another day. So I have Christofina Saleh says, I am in a very abusive relationship. I have been in for 6 years. I am exhausted. This man accused me of everything: zero financial support, insult, humiliation every day. He will. So Christofina, I need to get more information. Are you married to this man? Is he a U.S. citizen or a green card holder? Can you answer that? Because if you're not married to him, then if there's physical abuse in this relationship, and you have been to the police, you might you could get a U visa. However, if you're married to him and he's a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you definitely should be able to look at VAWA, and we will screen you for that to make sure that you qualify. All right. Okay. Now you have an I-130 interview. you don't want to go. Christofina, call my office. Okay, let's see how we can help you, because you already have an interview. You need to know what your options are. Because the good thing about VAWA is that you can self-petition, because the I-130 interview is his petition. So if he doesn't show up, then that case will be denied. But you say here you filed VAWA already, so that's wonderful. I hope that you're able to get your VAWA approved, because you certainly deserve more than being in an abusive relationship. All right. Thank you for sharing your story, Christofina, and I wish you the very best. All right, let's see if I have any questions. Right here is 12:21. I gotta leave in the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna just scroll real quickly. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, I'm seeing people joining, but I haven't seen any question yet. So Christofina, you say you don't want to go to the I-130. Well, if you filed a VAWA, you may not need to go for you should not need to go for the I-130, but you need to have notified them that you filed a VAWA. Did you get a receipt? You may need to actually go there to show them the receipt to let them know you filed a VAWA. If you already notified them, you do actually need to let them know you filed a VAWA, so that they can move the case to VAWA. That's what you need to do, okay? And I wish you the very best, all right? So let's keep going. I don't see any questions. So Shirley Hazel says, what seems to be the best green card path for an F1 student who is doing a non-STEM course? So Shirley, that's a really loaded question, because you could have an employer who's willing to file for you. If you are married to a U.S. citizen, they could file for you, or even a green card holder, but it has to be a bona fide, legitimate marriage. Do not marry just to get a green card, because that's against the law, and it could give you a bar. But for me to figure out what is the best path for you, I would need to actually talk to you and screen you and ask you a lot of questions. But there are ways to get a green card. It could be through an employer. It could be a humanitarian. It could be through a humanitarian pathway if you qualify. But what you do not want to do is be out of status. You do not want to be out of status, because that could really affect your ability to. It could affect your ability to get to adjust your status if you're not being filed by if you don't have a U.S. citizen spouse filing for you. So Aderonke says, I have a friend who lived in U.S. for 5 years but no work permit. How can you assist? Aderonke, there are pathways. There are pathways to getting a work permit and a green card. Your friend has to qualify for one of them, and I would not know without knowing what their situation is. So Adachuku Ejikeme says, I want to schedule an appointment with you because my interview in Mount Laurel is in July. But your next available date is after my interview. Adachuku, yeah, I know. I don't know. Did you call already? Well, call again and see if they can. I don't know when your date is, but see if they can squeeze you in. I don't know. Maybe they may be able to call my office again and tell them you spoke to me on live, and I said, could they squeeze you in somewhere? Either me or my co-attorney may be able to may be able to assist you. All right. So Samuel Oti says, hi, ma'am. Who determines when an applicant needs a waiver? Well, depends on the reason for the waiver. Your attorney may be able to determine that you need a waiver because there's clear inadmissibilities, or you may go for an interview and USCIS or Department of State may determine that you need a waiver because there are inadmissibilities. So either or. All right. So Jan Z. Okpala says, I have a question. If you wait for immigration to respond to a notice of intent to deny and your U.S. citizen leaves you, can you remarry? Well, Jan Z Okwala, if the notice of intent to deny is for a green card petition, like a marriage based petition, and you're no longer with your spouse, that pretty much nullifies that petition. So I don't know enough about what's going on with your case. So I would suggest that you call because there might be another pathway for you still without jeopardizing your ability to adjust your status. I don't know. Um, okay. We need to really screen and ask questions to be able to answer, um, help you out. Hello, I filed for my Manuel says, hello, I filed for my two brothers in June 2015 as a US citizen. Till today, the two cases have been approved. What should I do? Unfortunately, Manuel, nothing, because that pathway, you were that preference, which is the F4 preference, takes the longest time. And depending on where you're from, it could take anywhere from 10 years to 20 years. I kid you not. It takes a long time. So there's really nothing much you can do except just wait, unless your brothers qualify for another pathway, because you can have multiple petitions running concurrently. Uh, Omojua Oladeji Amos says they applied for green card over 3 years, still not hearing anything from USCIS. So I don't know what the basis for your green card application, but maybe you should contact USCIS, do an e-inquiry, find out what's going on, because some petitions are taking a really long time. All right, let's see, what's the time? All right, guys, I gotta run. So I'm sorry I can't answer all the questions, but thank you guys for joining me on this live, and I will be back. Remember, 1-800-898-7180. That's not my number. That's the number to put in your A number to check to make sure that you don't have a deportation, immigration hearing, or that you have not been ordered deported. I'm going to encourage you to share this video with anyone, because you want to make sure that you do not get deported because you did not realize that you had an order of deportation against you. Okay. Well, thank you guys. It's been lovely, and thank you for celebrating with me and my firm and my client on their ability to stay in this great country. Take care.